We are going to begin here with that dangerous and life-threatening weather unfolding across the nation's heartland right now. Dramatic rescues overnight as flash floods rip through communities in Missouri, turning roads into rivers and forcing emergency crews into urgent search and rescue operations. The flooding emergency comes as millions remain at risk for more heavy rain and flooding this weekend. And meteorologist Samara Theodore is right here tracking it all. Samara, good morning.
Good morning, Gio. That's right. We've seen places in the heartland, including Missouri, take on heavy rainfall. And to think we have more on the way, take a look. This morning, a state of emergency in Missouri. Life-threatening flash floods inundating the region. One person now reported missing in Crawford County. The search set to resume this morning. The scene urgent. First responders performing more than 90 water rescues. This video, shared by the Missouri State Patrol, shows one of their rescue boats capsized after its motor tangled with an underwater line. The two troopers jumped overboard. They're okay. In Iron County, over 200 canoers and staff members rescued at a campsite in Talm Sock Mountain State Park. These family members reacting as they waited on loved ones still stranded at the campground.
There's 5 of them camping and in a tent. They tried to stay on top of their car while it was flooding, and they lost the truck, so they had to go to a tree. National Guard helicopters helping to rescue and bring campers to reunification sites.
We do even have people that are still stranded, but they're okay. The roads are washed away. We have a lot of damage.
Rescue operations expected to last several days. In Lesterville, Amy Wiegard evacuating the Park Bluffs campground nearby, capturing these images. Her family losing their RV to floodwaters. Video shot overhead showing the extent of the damage. And unfortunately, we could see more videos like that today as many areas are under flood watch. Take a look, Louisville, Kentucky this morning. This is your Earth Cam shot. Listen, we could see a lot of rain today, and that has prompted the flood watches in effect. Timing it out this morning as we roll through the afternoon and lunchtime, we get rounds of rain sweeping across Kentucky, sweeping across parts of Tennessee. If you live in Tennessee, areas like Nashville, up to Charleston, West Virginia there, Cape Girardeau, you have a flood watch in effect today. And these flooding conditions are coming from some pretty strong storms. For those living in yellow, from Fayetteville to Little Rock, Memphis to Nashville, North Alabama, Huntsville, you all have a chance of level 2 out of 5 of severe weather today. So be mindful and keep those alerts on. Back to you, Rachel.
Important to take those warnings seriously. Okay, Samara, thank you. We turn now to the efforts to get talks between the U.S. and Iran back on track after days of attacks. This morning, President Trump making a new threat to Iran. ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang joins us now from Washington with more. Good morning, Selena.
And good morning to you, Rachel. The president is issuing this new threat against Iran, posting this morning that 1,000 missiles are locked and loaded and aimed at Iran, with thousands more to immediately follow if the Iranian government acts on its threat to assassinate or attempt to assassinate him. And he goes further, adding that orders have already been given and the U.S. military is ready, willing, and able to completely decimate and destroy all areas of Iran. The president's threat coming after reports this week that Israel allegedly shared new intelligence to the U.S. about a plot against him. And it also comes as Trump is now green-lighting a new round of talks with Iran. That's despite the U.S. and Iran trading fire all week. The U.S. hitting more than 170 targets in Iran over 2 days. That was in response to Iran attacking commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And we're now learning from a senior U.S. official that the Iranians privately told Trump's advisors that they, quote, screwed up and made a mistake in shooting at those ships in the Strait, and that they said, let's keep talking.
Yeah, a lot of mixed messages this morning between the U.S. and Iran. And Selena, we want to get to that other news. A major new housing bill also becoming law this morning.
Yeah, Rachel, that's exactly right. This historic housing bill became law at midnight, but without the president's signature. Trump said he's refusing to sign it because the Senate won't pass the Save America Act. That's his sweeping voter ID law that would sharply restrict mail-in voting. But here's the thing. This housing bill passed with overwhelming support from Democrats and Republicans. Plus, it hits at one of the biggest issues for Americans right now, the cost of buying a home. And this bill aims to lower the cost by boosting supply, making homes cheaper to build, and restricting Wall Street investors from buying up single-family homes. And yet, Trump torpedoed the planned signing of this bill 10 days earlier, calling the bill a, quote, big yawn, Rachel.
Yeah, still a rare bipartisan breakthrough. Okay, Selena, tracking both of these headlines. Thanks. Gio?
Okay, Rachel, now to the back-to-back flight emergencies. A small plane crashing in the Bahamas with no survivors. passengers, and a man nearly sucked all the way out of a jetliner's window. And ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burge joins us now with the latest on this. Tom, good morning.
Good morning, Gio. Yeah, two separate aviation investigations underway this morning. One here in Europe after a man was partially sucked out of an aircraft mid-flight. The other into a plane crash in the Bahamas, in which no one survived. This morning, the devastating scene after a deadly plane crash in the Bahamas.
Wow.
Video of the aftermath obtained by ZNS Bahamas showing the wreckage still on fire in a wooded area near the Bahamian capital. All 10 people on board the small plane killed, including one initial survivor pulled from the wreckage alive, who later died. The Flamingo Air flight reportedly was traveling from New Providence to San Andros when it went down.
To every family that has received the devastating news that someone they love will not be coming home, we offer our deepest condolences.
This incident coming a few hours after a separate, frightening mid-air scare, where a passenger was partially sucked out of a plane window. Oxygen masks hanging from the ceiling and a shattered window seen on video inside the cabin. The Ryanair jet taking off from Greece Friday morning en route to Germany when the airline says a window dislodged shortly after takeoff. The cabin decompressing quickly, pulling a 61-year-old man seated next to the window toward the opening, part of his upper body outside of the plane, sources tell ABC News. His wife grabbing his legs and holding on for nearly 5 minutes, preventing him from being completely sucked out of the plane. Passengers donning oxygen masks and holding hands as the plane made an emergency landing back in Greece. A damaged right engine and puncture seen here.
The video evidence is pretty clear here. We can see one of the blades in the engine that you can see as you look at the front broke free, went out the side of the engine and hit the fuselage right at the window where this person was seated.
Medical personnel meeting the plane, the passenger now in an intensive care unit in Greece, sources say. Both incidents under investigation. And guys, on that Ryanair mid-air scare, the NTSB and the FAA are standing by to assist in the investigation. And in the Bahamas, officials say that deadly crash follows other security incidents involving the airline, Flamingo Air, and it's having its operating license suspended while that investigation is carried out. Gio?
All right, Tom Soufi-Burge, thanks so much. Rachel?
Okay, now to the new information we're learning about the fatal shooting by ICE officers in Houston. A lawyer for two witnesses now disputing the official account of the killing. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is following this story for us. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Rachel, good morning. State officials are now speaking out on the incident, demanding an investigation. And the men inside the van who witnessed the shooting saying the victim did not try to ram ICE officers. This morning, we're learning more about the moments leading up to an ICE officer shooting and killing 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Houston on Tuesday. ICE officials claim Salgado Araujo rammed a federal vehicle during an attempted arrest and ignored commands that he was allegedly shot in self-defense.
I am the attorney representing Jose and Daniel.
We're now hearing from the attorney of the two witnesses inside the van at the time who dispute this account.
They confirmed that at no point was there ever an ICE agent directly in front of the vehicle. They also confirmed that the shots came from the sides, not from the front, which is inconsistent, with the ICE agent statements.
DHS officials admitting Salgado Araujo, a Mexican national, was not the intended target and rather resembled the target. Border Czar Tom Homan now reacting to what this means for the officers involved.
Let the investigation play out. If the officers acted outside policy or illegally, they'll be held accountable.
Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia says she spoke with the acting ICE director, who she says told her no body or dash cameras captured the shooting.
I really pressed him on this. Quite frankly, I would have to ask the community, what would you do if you're just being followed by someone? And the cars were unmarked. They did not have a siren. They did not have lights or noise.
The killing sparking outrage through Houston. Salgado Araujo had been living in the U.S. for more than 3 decades. His family saying he was on his way to work and was close to obtaining legal status. They are demanding an independent investigation.
We crossed every T, dotted every I, filled out every document, went to every appointment. It is a basic human right to be able to have a long life, regardless of legal status. I just want all Americans to know that my dad was a hardworking man, a family man, who wanted nothing more than to put food on the table and to watch his sons achieve the American dream.
And Salgado Araujo's son says his father's biggest fear was getting carjacked and having his tools stolen. The Harris County District Attorney says he hopes the Department of Homeland Security will turn over evidence so they can conduct their own investigation. Gio.
Yeah, such a tragedy. All right, Jacqueline, thank you so much. And this morning, cases of cyclosporiasis, the parasitic intestinal illness, are rising. 31 states are now reporting infections, and more than 800 cases have been confirmed. Since May 1st, there have been nearly 1,000 confirmed cases. The CDC says there are about 1,500 cases under investigation. Cyclosporiasis typically occurs after someone has consumed contaminated food or water. It is not transmitted person to person. Rachel.
We're going to turn now to the Pentagon's latest release of UFO files. Dozens of images, documents, and videos in this batch. ABC's Olivia Rubin is in Washington following this. Lots of interest in this one, Olivia. Good morning.
Of course, Rachel. Good morning. The Pentagon releasing dozens of new files, including eerie new videos and images showing unexplained encounters from around the world. Just last year, this video captured in the Yellow Sea by an infrared sensor on a U.S. military platform. In the footage right there, you can see an object described in the documents as a six-pointed star hovering across the middle of the screen. And in 2015, a military camera capturing this object speeding by in the eastern United States. And over the Atlantic Ocean, this video from 2020, a report describing the object as a large, somewhat deformed balloon, approximately 12 to 15 feet in height. And in one instance, a service member reporting an object he said had flight characteristics unlike anything I'd ever seen in my 28 years of service. And while these videos, of course, appear strange, there's no information here on what those objects actually are, and there's certainly no proof of alien life contained in these documents. The Pentagon says more files are coming. Gio.
Lots of questions out there. Absolutely. All right, Olivia, yes. Thanks so much. All right, this morning, Meta is responding to critics following the debut of its new AI feature. ABC's Andrew Dimbert is here now with all the details. Andrew, good morning.
Hey, good morning. They heard the backlash, and now Meta is backing down. Just 3 days after unveiling new AI tools that could have turned public Instagram posts into AI-generated images and videos, Meta is now pulling the feature entirely after a wave of criticism from users, privacy advocates, and even the entertainment industry. Meta saying in part, we've heard the feedback that this feature missed the mark, so it's no longer available. The technology, called Muse Image, with a video version also in development, had a feature that would have allowed users to generate new content using photos, videos, and other material from public Instagram profiles as sort of visual references. And for millions of users, participation would have been automatic. Anyone over 18 with a public Instagram account was included by default unless they took steps to opt out themselves. Critics argued users and creators should have to actively grant permission before their images, likeness, or creative work could be used to help power AI tools. Now, this tool is no longer available, Meta pulling it. Still, as AI becomes more powerful and more personal, these broader questions over digital identities and privacy will only likely intensify, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and companies are trying to figure out what exactly to do with
right.
this technology.
Right.
So it's interesting to see that backlash. Okay, Andrew, thank you.
It is finals weekend at Wimbledon. On the women's side, Linda Noskova and Karolina Mukova, both from the Czech Republic, are competing for the title. And overnight, Italy's Jannik Sinner beat Novak Djokovic to play for his second straight championship tomorrow. He's going to face Alexander Zverev, who beat the hometown favorite, British favorite, Arthur Ferry, who entered the tournament on a wild card draw. Lots of excitement there.
Yeah, so that's tennis. Why don't we turn to some soccer, some football, right? We're going to turn now to the World Cup. By the end of the day, we will have the semifinal matchups all set. ABC's Will Gans is here with the highlights from Friday night and also a look ahead to today's matches. Hey, Will.
Hey, Rachel. And then there were 6. Half of the final 4 teams are set thanks to a big win from Spain yesterday, but not before Belgium managed to do something that no other team has done this tournament.
This morning, La Roja reigns. Mikel Merino, Spain's so-called super sub, joining the match late and scoring the game winner. In a 2-1 win against Belgium, the team that knocked the United States out last round. Fabian Ruiz scoring in the first half for Spain, with Belgium's captain out last minute with an injury sustained during warm-ups. But the Belgian Red Devils did do something no other team has done this tournament. Score against Spain. Charlotte de Ketelaere ending La Roja's 6-game clean sheet streak with an impressive header. But too little too late. Spain will next play against France and its fast-footed phenom Kylian Mbappe. As for today's quarterfinal matchups, it'll be a battle of the strikers down in Miami with England's Boy Wonder.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Not Harry Potter, but Harry Kane, equally as magical, taking on Norway's Erling Haaland.
Has anyone ever stopped Erling Haaland? I'm not sure they have, but we're going to try.
Norway getting set to row into their first ever quarterfinal.
I really just love Norway. I love how they play, and I love the Viking, and I love all about them, and let's go Norway.
And Switzerland will square off against Argentina this afternoon, with Lionel Messi hoping to make Argentina the first back-to-back champions since Brazil pulled off that feat 64 years ago.
Things are preparing to get messy in all the right ways. Argentina and Switzerland play tonight. England and Norway square off this afternoon. And to get us in the spirit, I've got some Norway jerseys.
Okay.
You guys, I have big plans for us and these Norway jerseys in just a little bit. So I hope you were paying attention to the...
Okay, all right, we're paying attention.
Gio's been doing that one in the gym. So
right, every back day. Thank you, Will, appreciate it.